Hey, welcome everyone. Tom here from Park Avenue Trading, your chief dealer giving you professional Fibonacci lessons. Welcome to part two of our master Fibonacci trading uh, techniques with our price action strategies. And in this video, I'm going to get into some important points that I don't think are really covered anywhere out there with all the other gurus. So, I mean, actually been forcefully watching myself study some of the stuff that's out there. And I don't know, I think that there's nothing new, there's nothing refreshing, there's nothing that you can experiment with to make your own. And I think that my video course series is actually going to do that for you. So before we get going, let me light up my cigar because that's really important for me to be able to think. And, definitely need that. Now, please, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell so you get more content from when it comes out. Also, leave some comments what you think about the video series itself, and head on over to Park Avenue Trading. Get yourself a free price action ebook. It's going to be something like you never seen before. All right, so the most important thing when you're setting up your Fibonacci ratios, in my opinion, is you have to have what's known as a confluence of points. Many people that trade Fibonacci talk about having this confluence of points by using different Fibonacci ratios and leg ratios. So the most important thing that you have to do, in my opinion, is you have to set up a larger time frame that is larger than the one that you are trading. So let's say, for instance, you're trading 1 hour charts. You might want to use a 4-hour chart. If you're trading 4-hour charts, you're going to want to use a daily chart. Now, I have here Swiss yen back in February 24, and actually, Swiss yen broke a long time ago, and there's actually no highs that are higher than this point. If I go back in time, I can't really find anything. So this marketplace is making new highs. So how does that pose a problem for, like, if you're trying to go to the left to the last time that a marketplace traded higher and you can't find it? What do you do? Don't worry, I got a solution for you. Okay. And what you have to do with a marketplace that's making all-time highs, or a marketplace that hasn't been this high for over 10 years, same type of thing. Because if I went to a high that was, say higher than this point right here, okay, most likely I'm going to find the ultimate low of the whole Swiss yen deal. I think it's around 70. I'm not really sure, but because I don't really trade this, I don't really track it, but I think it's around 70. So it's really not going to do us any good, because the Fibonacci ratios are going to be so huge that they're not really going to be of any importance for us. So what do we do with the situation that's like this that's happening? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take the high itself, okay, and the high is 175.06. I'm just going to mark it because the thing showed up. So I'll just mark that high. So we take 174.06. I'm sorry, 175.06. I got to be careful because I always change bloody big figures. Because I'm doing this on the fly. I don't practice any of this stuff. Maybe I should, but I don't. I mean, I just do it from memory. And if I'm taking the approach that you're a new hire, you've come in, maybe even worked at other banks before, but now I want to start to teach you our proprietary ideas. And I want to make sure you understand, like, if I'm asking you to calculate something, you know what I'm asking you to do, because I don't really care about what other people have done. I care about, like, what we studied and what we find to be applicable to the marketplace. So we take the high at 175.06 and we're going to multiply by 0.0382. And we come up with 6.68, 6.69 big figures. So if I take 175.06 in, 6.69 out, my first level should be 168.37. So I'm just going to take a level right here. 168. Close enough. 168.38 is a level of support for my 0.382. Now I didn't use 0.382. If I would have used 0.382, it would have been massive. It would have been too far. So I have to adjust for that by putting 0.0382. Then I could also take 0.0618 and go even deeper. I think it's 11 big figures. So 175.06 in, 11 out, something like that. It's going to be 164.06. Okay, so it would be down here, 164.06. And I'm just doing it just to show you the calculation. Obviously, it was not really important because it didn't go there, you know. So let's just 163, and hang on, I'll just make it nice. I'll just make it nice. Well, anyway, you get the point. 164.06. I'm not going to start changing it and you know, having you guys have to deal with that. But anyway, okay, so we have that leg, all right, and we measured that leg. Now we could actually measure the leg itself. And I'm going to do, we have this low, okay? Now we have this high. We know that high came in because the marketplace traded down from it, okay, off the dailies. But really what we want to do to get confluence of points is we want to basically, this is such a strange tool. We want to measure basically this leg. All right. So we want to get confluence of points. Now we only have 1 point. And we got that 168.38. That's our point. That's all we got. But it would be helpful for us to basically measure Fibonacci retracement from the low. Hang on here. I got to shut this off. And we basically have a 0.82 right by our 168.38. So that's a confluence of points. So now you would mark these down, okay, and you'd have them someplace else. And then you would go to the 4-hour chart that you're trading, and you'll have basically the confluence of points that you need to for the days ahead. These are good because this is a daily chart. And this is basically big levels, okay? Now, to get these internal levels, we're just measuring the big leg. Now, when you go to a 4-hour chart, you're going to have tighter levels because you'll measure legs in between. And we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to discuss with you a tool that I gave you, trend degree calculator, okay? And I went over in a video, supplemental video, I gave you a thrust indicator. So I gave you 2 calculators. I gave you a thrust calculator and I gave you a trend degree calculator. I did not cover the trend degree calculator in that video. I basically said, here's the thrust indicator. Why? Because I basically was going for bigger points. And I started to realize that maybe people aren't really interested in bigger points. So they're important to have. The thrust is important to have. But the trend degrees are more important to have if you're a day trader, okay? And I explained to you that the thrust and the trend degree is basically based off of a bell curve. So when we look at the trend degree calculator, let me, hopefully it'll fit in between here. Okay, here's a trend degree calculator. And if I'm using a price line, you see it's 1 degree, 3, 6, 8. 8 is a really important trend degree. It's basically a short-term trend change on each side of this thing. 8's real important. Now, These could be used as confluence of points inside a Fibonacci scale. Nobody has this stuff. So what this is inside of a bell curve, when let's say we're making like the median, the price high is 180.06. So what the calculator is basically doing, it's calculating based off of 180.06, how far away from the mean it's could go downward, because I'm using the high. If I were to put this in as a low, could do the same thing. And this is just an arbitrary number, 180.06. It will calculate from that point how far out. Now, each one of these degrees is moving away from the mean. So each one is an important point for a snapback. The 8-degree catapult level is a really important point. And that's the one that basically says that could be a potential movement. Like, in other words, the leg is expanding, the wave is expanding, the downward pressures is expanding. It's moving down. Okay, but how far? Well, then then there's the 11.25 level, and then you got the 15-degree level, and then you got the 22-degree level. So it all I hate to tell you, we could use some Forex alchemy to try to project price, but that's just all it is a projection. It's not, you can't say, oh, I projected that the low is going to be, 176.72. So I'm just going to buy it when it hits 176.72. No. Okay. You got to wait for that level to be confirmed as a low. And then you have to use a short-term type of price action thing to try to get you in. Now, at that point, you could start using, 30-minute bars, 10-minute bars, even 5-minute bars, and then use a Wyckoff type of system, whereas, or you could use Tower of Price, which is my course, my book that basically shows you where you should find a buy envelope and how to handle a buy envelope. But I'm here to basically give you an idea of trend degrees. So let's go back to our chart here, and let's just stick with what we got. We got the high of 175.06. So if I go to my trend degree and I put in, the high comes in 175.06. Okay, 8 degrees below that is 173.82. Now we have 174.64 is a thrust level. I'm going to write them down because I won't remember them. So let's go 174.64, 174.23, and 173.82. So if I go back to my chart here, now this is a daily, and if I switch to like 4 hours, hang on, let's see if I could switch it without any problems. So let me put a vertical line right there. It's the 29th of April. So hang on a second here. Let me pause this and let's all right. So we got the 175.06 right there. Underneath it, we had the first warning at 174.64. So I'm just going to take array and go 174. Close enough. 174.60. Okay. This is a 4-hour chart. Let me see if I can fatten it up a little bit. These were the daily fib levels. Okay. Now, for the that you should have marked down. Okay. So you could have them on your chart, but then you should have basically measured this small leg, okay, this leg movement up for retracement levels, and you'd find confluence of points there. All right, but I'm just using the trend degrees because for me the trend degrees are more kind of stronger confluence of points than the fib levels themselves. So we got 174.64, we got 174.23, 23. Looks fine. 174.20. $174. Where is it? Oh my goodness. That's close. 174.21. 173.82. Fine. 173.85. Anything. I would like it a little bit lower than higher, so because that's actually showing it's breaking. 173.77. All right. So now, if we go back to the trend degree, what is the 8-degree catapult is 173.82. Here's the 173.82. This marketplace, just once it broke this, it completely started moving down. It was like the first indication that, hey, this thing is going down to where? Where could it go down to? That's, see, when trading, we're always trying to predict basically how far a move could go and how long the duration will last. And we're going to talk about that later with Fibonacci time, if you want to use Fibonacci time. It's a little shaky. It's not exactly the best way to do it, but we'll go over that in the video series. But as you can see, once these trend degrees are broken, I got to move this thing out of the way so you can see it. Once this high and this thing retraced, this is all on the 4-hour, you know, so right there, 175.06 on that same 4-hour. Now you could have been broken it down to 1 hours and then see how it reacted at these levels. But we got 173.82, which is right here. This point is one of the most important trend degrees for the flip. This marketplace flips, and most likely it's gonna, we can look at the trend degree calculator. Now we can use levels of the trend degree, like 26 degrees, like where is the marketplace at any one time. Well, we went down to, just for the heck of it, 167.33, okay? If I go back to my trend degree calculator, I'm looking for something that's close to 167.33. I got 2 points. I got 55 degrees away from the mean at 167.70. I have another point at 166.88, which is 60 degrees from the mean. So that's, those 2 points, a confluence of points. So if I go back to my fib levels, I got 167.99, and I got one down here, 166.52. So therefore, those levels are falling within those points. So what do we do with that? Well, there's a simple trading system that basically is, you would go and the marketplace is doing this, right? And it's beyond, let's say it's 168.10. Let's say we're going to go to 50 degrees, 168.10. Okay, the marketplace makes a low at 167.35. You could put a buy order in at 167.90, 168.10. Your stop has to be this low. Some people I know that I taught this to actually go 50 points lower than that low. I would suggest you experiment with it. The break of it basically is, you know, of the trend degree, you basically go long, you put the stop at the low. Now, this marketplace makes this low at 167.33. Let's go to hang on, let me get over to the thrust. Okay, so marketplace broke all the trend degrees, broke all our fib levels on the daily. We would have internal points. We're going to do that in the next video, just the internals. But I'm telling you that the trend degrees are a really good confluence of points for fib levels. Okay, so now the marketplace makes this low at 167.33. I'm going to go through the thrust calculator. This is a separate calculator. And I told you that the third level, okay, you know, on the trend degree calculator, okay, it's 8 degrees. Okay, so on the thrust 1 degree thrust is basically just the first like kind of push, you know, saying, oh, this thing is not really holding, it's kind of failing. But the 8% catapult levels is important because that's the one that's saying it's going down lower. How much lower? Well, we have all these different trend degrees, and then we can line them up with fib levels to see how the marketplace is reacting at those levels. But the thrust level is quite different. The thrust levels, the low is 167.33. If we get over 167.97, it's showing strength again. Okay, but the more real important level is the 168, actually between these two, 168.62 and 169.92. But if you're getting over 168.62 on this, you're most likely moving up back towards the highs again. Okay, so let's just use one, but let's use the 168.62 level. Let's see how the marketplace reacted. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of my fib. Okay, remove the fib, and I want to put in the thrust calculator of 168.62. I'm going to put it, let's see, horizontal line. 168.70 is fine. Look what happens. This marketplace basically, it touches it, but we need to look for the close above. Here's the close above. Here's the queen confirming. Marketplace starts to expand again. Well, where's it going to go? Now, the thrust calculator is saying that it could go as high as, you know, 180.51, right? But for the short term, marketplace so far is making a high at 172.47. Now remember, if you got long at 169, 300 points. But let's look at the trend degree calculator now. So if I go from a low, I put the low in at 167.33, right? That's the low. I'm getting 172.21 is a point. Let's make sure I use the right low. Yeah, 167.33. 172.21. What's the high? 172.71. So I would actually move this down right here. Fine. 172.21. Let's make it like 172.14. So basically the market expanded a little bit above like the trend degree. So if I go, what's the next trend degree? 173.40. Hang on a second. Sorry. 172. Oh wow. 170. Okay, 172.21. 172.62. Sorry, I missed that one. 172.62, and what's the high? 172.73. So I would just move these down. 172, say 62. So just by using the tool that I gave you, okay, when you have using the trend degrees and that 8-degree break is a really important break, but also with the thrust levels, because we could also use the trend degree off of the bottom, right? So we said 8 degrees it's 168.54. It was an early warning saying that this price, 168.54, should actually be the one that kind of sends us up and get us into that thrust. So I hope you could see how you could use this. Now, what I implore you to do is it's going to be in the description of the video. Go and play around with these calculators. Use your Fibonacci levels. Use the trend degrees as confluence of points. Work from a bottom using the thrust indicator. See, wow, if the marketplace got over this thrust level, what happened? These are great. These are great. There's nothing out there like this. I can guarantee you. It's proprietary. Really, it's a great tool. So if you like what you see, please smash the like button. Leave some comments on the trend degree calculator and the thrust degree calculator. They're not going to be up forever. I'm not keeping this up forever. This is for Park Avenue trading members. We use them and we make money with them, and we lose minimum amounts of money with them. So we make more than what we lose. Do you lose with this? Absolutely. You know, this is not, there's no holy grail. I can assure you that. But this works really well with fib numbers. So if you like what you see, smash the like button, subscribe, share the videos far and wide. We want to build a big trading community. And remember always, enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.